All right, good morning, everyone. Finally back on YouTube. I don't know about you guys, but I've actually had a pretty decent week. Even though NASDAQ has been right at all time highs, I've just been taking longs. I didn't trade on Monday, so I was traveling, but I'm glad I didn't because it was pretty choppy. Um, let's see. I mean, I already drew out some zones, but I'll double check to see if there's more. Yeah, the trade I took yesterday was right at open. It was longs off of here, off a 2 hour demand zone, and that was the bottom of the day. That was cool. I will say, like, I do think the market looks very overextended, and I think a pullback would be pretty good. But I wouldn't be surprised if this does keep going up higher. Some zones I'm looking at is this 45-minute demand zone down here, which we've had a bounce from. It does look like we wicked through it, but if you zoom in on the 1 minute, we really haven't closed below this 50% line, below the 700s. So I still think it's a really good zone. What else am I looking at? That's really the main one. The other ones are like on a smaller time frame. I mean, I have this 1 hour zone down here. If I take shorts, I think that could be a good target. What else? Yeah. And then I have a couple 15-minute zones. This 15-minute zone, this one down here. This one's really good. We already have a bounce off of it. So this could also be a good target for shorts if I do take that. Or longs as well. And then I also have a couple 10-minute zones. I'm actually going to erase this one right here because we chopped on it. And then we have this one right here, right at all time highs. So I really don't know like what trade I'm going to take. It really depends on the market open. Where's VWAP? Yeah, VWAP. Damn. Now that I look at VWAP, I mean, it looks pretty close to this 45-minute zone. So I'm not sure I would take a trade down here. I don't know. I probably would. Yesterday I took a trade pretty close to VWAP and it played out well. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. The mic should be better now. It was all the way down. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Nasdaq. I mean, of course, like the trend is very bullish. There's a couple spots I would buy from. But honestly, I think a pullback would be pretty good. I want to look at the RSI. Yeah, the RSI looks very overbought. Even the 4 hour time frame, um, we've had pretty strong candles. But if you look at it right now, it looks like it slowed down quite a bit. I mean, that could be a good sign for a reversal, right? Or a pullback. So we'll see. I'm open to taking longs or shorts either way. Salut. All right, on US 30, let's see. Damn, it's crazy because US 30 looks so different. Kind of, not really. It's still very bullish. Do you have a live personal account? Yeah, I do have one. I do plan on adding to it as well. But that's the thing, like I've been watching a lot of, not even a lot of reels, but I don't know, I've been getting a lot of hints that when I do start the live account to not really focus on growing it too much. Cause I feel like a lot of people focus on growing their live account too much and like they never withdraw from it. I feel like if I get serious with the live account, I'll like withdraw money when I can. Kind of like how Andre Diaz does. I don't You guys probably know him, but what he does is he mainly trades like a pretty decent live account. Every day he has like a 4K day. That's like his usual. He withdraws it. Um so I feel like I do something pretty similar to that where I wouldn't be too crazy focused on growing it. I'd be more focused on like actually taking the money out. Oh, another thing is this week I haven't traded. Well, I have traded like how I usually do, but I haven't like put up my white lines. I think I'm gonna retire from them because I don't really use them. Hold up. But yeah, I'm gonna try and see um how it is without trading with the white lines. I mean, it's gonna be pretty much the same because it's not like I actually use the white lines. But I just kind of want a cleaner chart. What am I looking at here? 90-minute zone right here. It's not really a good zone, but I'll mark it. We have this 2 hour demand zone, which the market bounced off from. That's cool. What else? Yeah, this is also a 45-minute zone here. I could mark it out, but I won't because we did get a bounce off of this 2 hour. What else is there? We have this other 45-minute zone. All of these zones could be good trades or good targets. 30-minute demand zone down here, another one down here, another one down here. So all of these zones I think could be good targets for shorts if I do take that. What's another one? And then the rest of the zones are really on smaller time frames. These zones up here are ran through zones. If you look at, let me go on a bigger time frame. If you look at the market back here, there's really no new zone, but there is zones that were ran through. Sometimes they act like support and resistance. So that's what I'm going to try to do. If the market keeps going up, then I'll have zones to actually look at. But I think that's pretty much it for zones. Yeah, I mean, this could be a zone as well. But we'll see what happens because it's right on top of it. And we have 20 more minutes for market open. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think it's been an alright week. I was gonna say it's been a decent week, but that's just because I've had green days. In reality, though, I think it has been a bit harder to trade. Especially yesterday, like you definitely could have gotten chopped up yesterday. Within the first 30 minutes of market open because it was very choppy. That's the thing about all-time highs though, is like the direction is clearly bullish, but sometimes it's just hard to actually trade it because it's very choppy. Right now it's at fair value. No clue what that means. Use the prop to fund my live account and then just trade that to make money. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good thing about having other incomes besides trading is like you could put that other income into growing your live account. Man, I'm not gonna lie though, I'm excited for next week. I think next week's gonna be very fun with the streaming. I'm hoping the background is like the ocean. That's the goal. Oh, I'm actually gonna erase the zone here. Yeah, we'll see. I think NASDAQ and US 30 both look really good. I don't know which one I'll trade first. Again, it really depends on the opening. What's your current account status? I'm trading 5 fundeds. I was thinking of trading evals today, but I have to buy them. And then I have been thinking about getting back into Apex. But I think if I get back into Apex, I wouldn't get 20 accounts. I'd probably just get 10. So why don't you use some of your previous payouts to fund your personal? Oh, I have. I definitely have. Is there a reason you're not trading the personal one? It's just like when you trade a personal one, you're actually risking your own money. So it's like it's more emotions and it's more risk. When you trade with a prop firm, technically it's not your money. I mean, it is, but it's like a very small amount compared to what you actually get. And the return on investment is bigger with prop firms. But of course, like you know, there's pros and cons to that. With prop firms, you make money, you can't really request it unless it's like a daily payout thing. But even with the daily payout, you need to make way more money in order to request like the actual daily payout. The good thing about live account, once you make the money, you can request it. But it's like if you lose the account or if you get a losing streak, you lost the account. You know, it's not like you could reset it or it's not like you could take advantage of a sale. Another thing too with the live account, like I think if I do get a live account, I'll keep it like private because it's like with proffers, I don't care about showing the stats, but with the live account, it's like I feel like there would be more like pocket watchers, you know? Oh yeah, I've been thinking about swing trading as well. But I think if I swing trade, it'd be on what's it called? Like trading shares, stock shares, or like options. Options are really good to swing and shares. But I need help with options, honestly. Like, if I get into that, I need help because I'd probably pay for a course to actually learn about options. Last time I tried learning options was before futures, and I wasn't too well educated on options, so I lost money. Yeah. I just need to understand better like the everything with options. It's a bit more confusing than futures. It's not like you just buy and sell a contract. It's like you got to find the right contract and then you got to I don't know, it's a lot. Yeah, that's true. The thing about live is that if you have the right narrative, you can hold longer than a prop firm would allow you to because of max loss limit. Yeah, I agree. Well, max loss limit. I agree. Like, for example, with yesterday's trade, if I was in a live account, I could have kept on one micro, maybe even two. Right? I took longs down here yesterday. Stop loss, something like this. It was a very quick TP, but like if I left one micro or even two, right, I would have made like an extra 1,000 or 2,000. But yeah, you can't really like hold trades too long with prop firm accounts unless you have like a forex account where it's a swing account. I know forex prop firms have like accounts that are specifically for swing traders. But shit, I wouldn't get into forex again. Jeez, these dogs. Oh no, someone just rang the doorbell. Oh, let me try making this better. There we go. Yeah, I think with the also it's not really like related to trading, but with a live account, it's like you could do there's more opportunity when it comes to content. 'Cause you could be like, oh, it could be like a separate like payout video every time, you know? But that's not for everyone. But yeah, I've been thinking about like, yo, they're going crazy. Yeah, I wish I had the Discord mic. On Discord, it like cuts out the background noise. Have you watched The Boys? You sound like my brother. Bro, he just asked me that the other day. I'm like, no, I don't watch that. He's obsessed with The Boys. That show. Maybe not obsessed, but he's a fan. Nah, I watched Euphoria. Anyone watch that? I need to watch the new episode. What else do I watch? I mean, I don't watch a lot of TV shows. Bro, I do watch Drewski. Anyone watch The Reunion? That was actually crazy. That was a really good reunion. It reminded me of like Baddies, the show. First episode of The Boys will get you hooked. I don't know. I think I have tried watching it before. I've actually watched clips of The Boys because you see it like surfacing around like on Twitter. For some reason, The Boys clips would pop up all the time. But I actually deleted Twitter. I was on it a bit too much. I'm taking a break. Taking a break from Twitter. Damn, the market looks very choppy. Hopefully that changes. Yeah, I would say like, damn, if the market does something like this, first 30 minutes, I probably won't trade, which I'll be fine with because I've had a decent week, but that will suck. Trying to pass these evals quick, been whooping my ass. Yo, I know how that is. I feel like if that happens more than 3 times, or like you pass 3 evals, or like you pass a batch, a batch of evals 3 times. What am I saying? If you fail a batch of evals 3 times in a row, you have to slow down. Like you have to pretend you're already funded. That's like the best way to do it. Cause it's like you're gonna keep trying to pass in one trade, right? Or you're gonna try to get a big trade, and you're gonna lose a lot of money quick. Would you recommend buying an instant funny with Tradeify? I would, but I would only recommend buying instant funding if you already have experience with getting payouts. That's like the only way I would recommend it. I really wouldn't recommend it if you were like a newer trader that's never passed the eval or has never gotten a payout, unless you're actually going to take it serious, right? Unless you're actually going to execute your plan. Then yeah, go for it. I mean, if you think about it, my first 10K month was with straight to funding, instant funding. But I actually never got that money because that was with fast track trading. But like actually like doing that made me realize like how easy it could be to get a 10K payout. And I did it with instant funding. Yeah, that's funny. That Oh, I'm back. My bad, guys. US 30 longs. I mean, I'm waiting for market to open. Dealing with Scott from Fast Track Trading. No, that was crazy. Yo, at first, I actually trusted him. That's the thing. Yo, these dogs. It's like, yo, it's only when I'm streaming they go crazy. Or like when I'm on the call, the dogs just go crazy. But with Scott from Fast Track Trading, like he would have like I think it was like weekly Discord calls, and like everyone from the prop firm would join. Shit, I would join too, and almost like especially towards the end, he would be saying like oh like we got everything set up, da da da. We just gotta do this. We just gotta do that. And I really trusted him. Like I actually thought he was gonna pay out everyone, and then out of nowhere, fucking prop firm shuts down, and it's like, oh my god, that sucked. Because I actually thought I was gonna get my money. And Q target short 528 522 28 522. Yeah, I think that could be a really good target if the shorts actually pop up. I'm not gonna lie. Thinking the same thing. But we'll see how it opens up. I definitely want to see the market get away from this area. Damn. If it closes above 797, like usually I would think longs, but I'm not sure if I'd be comfortable taking a long at the top. Unless it's like really volatile. It also just looks like it slowed down quite a bit, especially on the 4-hour time frame. But the thing with the NQ is like when it's bullish, it's bullish. If you were to pick your superpower, what would it be? 100% win rate on the on the markets. I would say a good superpower could be knowing what the market is gonna do. I think that would be a cool one. Yeah. $100 for a Lucid Flex account, or should I just trade it on a Forex account? I have Hanko right now. Damn, I don't know. So I would, what if I were you? I would think about the return on investment. If you invest $100 on a Lucid account, your payout could be $2,000. But if you and you'll have more leverage, right? Because it's a prop firm account. If you have a Forex account, you'll need to risk more of your money, but you would technically need to make less money. So I don't know. That's up to you. It's something to think about. But what I would think about is like the return on investment. Which one is safer? Which one could be easier? Yeah. 20 seconds for this market open. Yeah, I'm back. Back on YouTube. Alright, let's see. But trading would get boring real quick. That's the thing. If you have 100% win rate, you could just trade like 2 minutes a day, full port that, make a quick $1 million, and then do whatever you want. It could get to that point if you have 100% win rate. It's like doubling a dollar. Like, it only takes a couple times to make a lot of money if you're doubling it. But I think the reason I got banned on YouTube for 2 days, again, it was for the same reason, because YouTube thinks I'm a minor. But I think it was because on the vertical streams on YouTube, they use automated systems, which I think is AI, to see if everyone's following the policies. So I think the AI thinks that I was a minor. I think that's what it was. I don't think there's someone reporting me. But yeah, so I'm gonna stop the vertical streams on YouTube. I'll just do these regular ones. Okay. Well, the market opened up. I mean, US 30's going up. US 30 just, for me, it's kind of hard to trade because these zones up here aren't really the best zones. They're kind of just ran through zones. So it could be harder to take a trade from. With Nasdaq, I don't see anything right now. This area for me on Nasdaq's basically a no trade zone. Unless it gets up to the zone, then I would take a trade up here, whether it's longs or shorts. And then down here, I would take a trade, but it really depends because VWAP is here. So we'll see. So far, I don't really see anything. At least not yet. I also need to double check if there's any high impact news. I've been forgetting to do that. Let's see. May 7th. That's crazy how it's May already. Okay, it says we had 8:30 news. That wasn't nothing crazy. Yeah, I don't see anything. No high impact news. And Q has really been doing its own thing. Yeah, it has. It's been on a crazy run. But it literally does that like every year. That's like, it's crazy. I think it's rigged. I mean, of course it is, right? Everyone's technically invested into it long term. So long term it has to go up. But it's crazy, like we were consolidating kind of in a downtrend for months. And then it just took like 1 week for us to get at all time highs. So that's like the crazy part. But if you think about it, it's really not crazy. It's more of a pattern that happens a lot. A lot. How big is this candle? Oh, another thing with US 30, I've been really picky with it. I mean, on Tuesday I took a really good trade, but like for example, last week, like all the trades, maybe not all, most of the trade setups that I saw in US 30 like weren't didn't play out that good. I don't know, US 30 has been a bit weird. Oh, maybe that's just me. Right now, US 30 is at this 15-minute demand zone. VWAP's right there though, so I'm not sure I would take this trade. We'll see how the 1 minute closes. Mm-hmm. Someone said 2 weeks ago I was trying to short this, thinking it's too high, and that was like 1,000 points away. Yeah, yeah. That's how it is. That's how I was like my first time really trading at all time highs. I was like, oh yeah, like this is really overbought. Like that should just keep kept going higher. But it's like when it's at all time highs, most of the time it's like very bullish, very bullish, very like erratic, something like that normally shouldn't happen, but it does. And like it's like if you think about it, it kind of makes sense because people see the market going up higher, so they invest more into it. Yo, you know what's crazy? I know someone that invested 6 figures when the market was down here last year. And look at the market now. So I can't imagine how much their portfolio is up. It has to be something crazy. Yeah, you see, usually I take this short on US 30. But I actually want to see how the 5 minute candle closes. Or I could wait for it to tap this 2 hour zone. I could also wait for that. I'll probably do that. See how it reacts down here. It definitely looks like it's moving way more than NASDAQ. Yeah, NASDAQ so far has had a really weak opening. So it could be a very choppy day, or it could be a day where like the move just happens slowly, or it just happens later in the day. Which for me is like, I don't really like waiting hours for one trade. Most of the time, I regret doing that because it's like, damn, like I knew the market wasn't the best, yeah, I still decided to take a trade. So that's why, like, if I see some weird shit the first 30 minutes, I know the best thing to do is like wait for tomorrow. Cause I've had days where I literally wait like more than 2-3 hours for a trade, and then I end up losing it, and it's like, damn, shoulda, coulda, woulda. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with a no trade day, except maybe feeling like you did nothing. That's the only bad thing about a no trade day. But it's like in reality, you you do get paid for waiting. So it's like it's nothing bad. It just sucks. Yeah, this is why I didn't take this short on US 30. I mean, it still could play out, but let's see. Could be doing something like this. Nasdaq's about to touch up on this 10-minute supply zone. Honestly though, since it's very low volume, like I wouldn't want to trade a long breakout up here. I'd want to take a short. Let's see. We got like 4 more minutes for the 15-minute candle to close. Yeah, this looks like a good short. I'm gonna wait for this 1 minute to close though. Alright, I'm at a short now. I'm gonna put my stop at the highs. Definitely could have had a better entry on this. But I like where the stop loss is. In order for this trade to hit a 1-2, it needed to break past VWAP. Got like 2 more minutes for the 15-minute candle. Yeah, that short really didn't play out on US 30. I would have gotten stopped out on that if I took that. VWAP's right at 28. Let's see. Oh, that was the new 15-minute candle. Yeah, this 15-minute candle closed out inside of this range. All right, I'm gonna go break even here. This could be a good take profit, but I'm gonna see if it could go down to this 45-minute demand zone. Which, let's see, it's almost there. Did get a 1 minute candle close below VWAP. Three more minutes for the 5 minute candle to close. I mean, since I'm in the short, I would want to see the 5 minute close out below VWAP. Yeah, if I got the better entry earlier, I would have already hit TP. Oh, might hit TP now. Maybe. Retesting VWAP again. Got 1 more minute for this 5 minute candle to close. Oof, that's bad. I was just about to say I didn't want to see a huge wick getting created the last minute of the 5 minute candle. So I'm gonna move my stop lower to, yeah, right above this 5 minute wick. Yeah, I'm gonna get stopped out. Nasty wick. And it closed above VWAP. Yeah, I would have already hit TP2 on this. I'm gonna get out of that. The entry should have been at 67, right up here. And I would have hit TP. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Yeah. Yeah, that would have hit TP. This is why I can't hesitate. If you hesitate, your entry's too late. God damn. I mean, I still think it should have gone down to the 700s, but it is very low volume. Very low volume. US 30s back down to this 2 hour demand zone. So I'm looking at that. I might long US 30 if it gets above this 1 minute wick. But if it does close below 0.4, I mean, I would expect the shorts, but I don't think it'd be a good short to take. Maybe it would. I don't know though, because the shorts have already been popping up. Still haven't seen a close below this 50% line. I wouldn't be surprised though if it does, because right down here we have a strong demand zone. But technically, I still haven't gotten the confirmation for a short. Unless I took it like all the way up here. Which I could have. Could have taken the short here. And then, yeah, it does look like it's gonna close below this 50% line, but I don't think I'm gonna short it. I'd rather just kind of wait for it to get down here. Okay, Nasdaq's retesting this supply zone. I mean, I would take short again on Nasdaq, but only if it gets below 760. And then I don't know, honestly, I wouldn't want to take the long breakout. Something about it. What the heck is this? Oh. I might take short on Nasdaq if it breaks this 1 minute wick. Let's see. We did have a 5 minute candle close outside the opening range. That looks very bullish. That does. Yeah, we're still not closing above the 800s. I mean, I'm really only gonna take short if it breaks these wicks lower. Then I'd be like, okay, we're really rejecting this area. So far, though, I mean, we are wicking off of it. That could be a good sign for shorts, but is also very bullish. So I really would only want to short it if I get that confirmation, which I might get here. Maybe. Alright, there we go. I'm gonna short again. I'm gonna put my stop at the high. VWAP could be a good target. Yeah, I'd want to see this 1 minute at least close below 82. I mean, I would say this is a pretty risky short, only because we did have a 5 minute candle closing above the opening range. But it also just kind of makes sense because it's a very choppy market. So I'm kind of just betting that it'll go back inside of this nasty range. Oh, this is the 10 a.m. candle. Yeah, another reason why this is a risky short is because this could just be retesting the opening range and then bouncing off of it. But I do like where the stop loss is. I think if I get stopped, the longs will definitely continue. With US 30, I don't know if I would trade it. I don't know. To me, it's been really weird. Okay, okay. Let's see if this candle saves me. No. I don't think it is. Oh, maybe. Okay. Oof. Yeah, I don't know. Right now, it just looks like it's gonna bounce and keep going higher. Yeah. It's like more volume popped in too. But I'm gonna keep the trade on. I don't like taking trades off early. Yeah, another thing is like it struggled to close below the zone down here. That's why I also said it looks like it's about to bounce off of here. I mean, even if I get stopped out on this trade, it'll be a pretty small loss. Yeah, like I'm only down 150. And yeah, that's the thing. Like, usually I'd be pretty bullish, and I am. But I don't know. I don't want to long it right at all time highs. Every time I take a trade like that, it's very choppy. I'm trying to see if US 30 comes back down here and then goes back up. I'm not sure if I will take it though, because it's already 10. Technically, I should have already won and be done with this first short right here. Which, again, the only mistake with this trade was that entry should have been sooner. It should have been right here at this 1 minute wick, and this would have hit TP2. That's where it should have been. And Nasdaq does look like it got more volume. It does, especially right after 10. Yeah, I wouldn't want a long Nasdaq right now unless it pulls back. If I take a long, I might want to take it on US 30. But I'd want to take it down here. Damn, this Nasdaq long. I do want to see if it would have hit TP2. Right now on this trade, I would have been break even if I took the long, which would have been like right here. Yeah, right now US 30 looks very choppy and very bearish, which is like the opposite of NASDAQ. And I feel like usually they play out the same. It just kind of takes longer for them to get aligned, which is why I'm trying to see if I could get the long on US 30 down here. But obviously, like, if this rips past the 900s, then it'd be like, damn, these shorts are actually going to continue. I'm trying to see why this bounced off of here. Like, usually it would have tapped the zone and then bounced, but this did not do that. Maybe I missed the zone. Let's see. I mean, sometimes it does do that. Oh, I see. This 10-minute zone. Look at this. Look at this. A 10-minute demand zone. Which I didn't mark. I didn't mark this zone because I was like, oh, there's a 45-minute zone down here. But maybe I should have marked it because it did have a bounce right here and then right there. And that could have been a TP. And then look at how this zone perfectly aligns with the 50% line. That's another reason why I didn't mark it. I was like, oh, like, I don't need it. I have the 45-minute zone. Damn. Okay. Maybe I should keep that in mind. That is actually crazy. See, this is why I always check, like, why did price actually bounce off of there? Now I understand why. There was a better zone. Well, the same zone, just different time frame. Alright, here's US 30. It's at this area. Alright, let's see.
Stop filled.
Alright, I'm in a long on US 30. And I have a 50-point stop. This is gonna be my last trade. Honestly, I'd probably go for a 1-to-1 on this one. 100 points looks like a lot. Nice. $50 is at 990. And then 100 points is 38. Which looks really far away. Not gonna lie. I definitely wouldn't want to see a candle closing below 906, 907. Wow, that long. Probably would have hit TP2.
Stop filled.
Whoa. Bro, I said that and this shit like shot down. The fuck? Please don't tell me this shit goes up from here. All right, well that was my last trade for sure. Oh, now I'd want to see this actually go down. What the hell? It's just so weird because they're doing the opposite thing. Nasdaq and US 30. That's why I'm so bullish on US 30 because I think it'll go the direction Nasdaq is going in. But no, I don't know. That's crazy. Did we have some news come out? That was a nasty wick on Nasdaq. I want to see if this goes up. I mean, I'm not gonna take it. I already got chopped. Bro, today sucks. And it's not even the market, it's me. Fucking, I should have been green. I should have been green from the first trade. But I didn't take profit by like 2 points. Jesus. And another thing is like, that entry should have been up here, but since I hesitated, fucked everything up. That sucks. Yeah, this is why I didn't take the long on Nasdaq. On Nasdaq, because it's so choppy. I mean, maybe it probably would have played out for a TP2. I'm trying to see if that happens. Yo, this is random, but you guys know how like when you rent an apartment, you have like a pet fee, and sometimes like really expensive. It would be like 200 to 600. If it's an emotional support dog, they can't deny you because you have the dog, and they can't charge you. Isn't that crazy? So if you're paying a pet fee, I just helped you out. Get a emotional support dog. Or not even the dog, but I think it's like a certification for it. And you have to pay for it online, but it'll be cheaper than paying for it for the rent. I cannot believe today. I mean, I can, but it sucks because the first trade, that was it. And then it's like, damn, I really got chopped. This trade I knew was a risky short because the market had already broken past the opening range. I knew it was risky, but it was fine because I wasn't risking a lot, and the stop loss was tighter than normal. So I was fine with the risk. And then literally while I was in the trade, I knew, like, I just knew I was gonna get stopped. Cause it's just like we had this 5 minute close outside of the opening range. And if you look at the 1 minute, we basically just bounced off of it. With this other trade, I was like, okay, NASDAQ, the longs came in. So the longs are going to come in on US 30 as well. That's usually what happens. They usually like play out very similar. But no, they're doing literally the opposite thing. So yeah. And then same thing with the stop loss. I was like, damn, like I like the stop loss if I get stopped. I know the longs are gonna continue. And I was like, let me not take the longs because it's gonna chop. And look at this shit. How do you qualify for being emotionally stable? I don't know. I have to look more into that. But yeah, it's cool. Cool advice for that. Pet fee. Or like if you're trying to get an apartment but you can't because they don't allow dogs, get the emotional support thing and they can't deny you because of the dog. So yeah. Bro. Yeah, well, this TP2 definitely would have hit. Maybe even TP3. So that sucks. And I was definitely wrong with this long here. So that sucks. But shit happens. It's my fault for not getting this early entry. If I got the early entry, I wouldn't be here. No excuses. Either way, I think I'm pretty sure I'm still green on the week, which is what really matters. The week and the month. But mostly the month. I think if you focus too much on like the past 3 days, you're gonna struggle to accept the loss. But if you focus on the month, then you'd be focused more on like risk management long term. So that's what really matters. And obviously, like learning your mistakes. Like the main mistakes I did today was hesitating on the entry. It should have been, how many points is this? It should have been 10 points sooner than the entry that I got. And I would have hit TP2. Another mistake that I did on the first trade, it's not really a mistake, honestly, but this 10-minute zone, which I didn't end up marking out because I was like, oh, like, we have this 45-minute zone here, which we had already gotten a bounce from. Let me focus on that one. But maybe I should have marked the 10-minute zone because we also had a bounce off of that one. And that's where we ended up bouncing again. Yeah. And then I mean on the second trade, I would say like the market had already broken out of the opening range. So I shouldn't really have been that bearish after that close. Like right here. This close. Yeah, because what really happened was it was just a small pullback. We just retested the opening range. That's another mistake. I think another mistake with this one, I mean, now that I look at it, it's like I could have waited for a better entry higher and I wouldn't have taken this trade. But I got in a bit early. Yeah, a couple mistakes, but it's all good. This is why you journal. But I think another bad thing to do would be like being so hard on myself. Because then it's like, then you start overthinking shit and it gets bad. You don't want that. You just want to accept that you did the mistakes, learn from it, move on. Mm. Bro, and then, yeah. But that was it for me. I'm gonna wait a couple more hours before I journal because I do want to see how US 30 ended up playing out. That's like already played out. Like this shit already fucking longed. Yo, you know what's crazy? Like now that I look at this long right here, it looks like the same thing that's been happening every day out of the week, which is just longing from a demand zone. Yeah, damn. And then like at first I was so bearish on Nasdaq, which is why I also felt comfortable with shorting it. And then like US 30 ended up shorting but not Nasdaq. Again, it's not so surprising. Nasdaq is Nasdaq is crazy. This shit is rigged to go up. No, I'm kidding. I mean, it is, but I'm kidding. That is crazy. Look at US 30. I think what catches me off guard is like how Nasdaq and US 30 are so different. Whereas, like, in the beginning of the year, they were very, very similar. Like, you could, Nasdaq bounce off of here, US 30's bouncing off of here as well. Now, though, fuck that. They're like very separate things. Yeah, we'll see what happens later. Damn. Damn, damn, damn. Alright, well, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I hope you guys caught the longs or the shorts on US 30. Yeah, I'm gonna take a break. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. The week's not over. We still have one more day. And then next week, I'll be in St. Thomas. So hopefully next week I'll be streaming with a nice background. Yo, someone told me that my background looks like I'm in a basement. So we're changing that next week.